we were discussing about why to form company business structure. There are different types of business structures are available. We were discussing about one, proprietorship or sole trading business, second, partnership business, third, limited liability partnership business. So these types of business entities legally allowed in India. So should we form company? Should not be a form company. This we are going to understand. Section 11 of 1956, Section 11 of Companies Act 1956 prohibits companies, prohibits partnerships, also prohibits associations doing certain businesses. Again, Section 11 of the Companies Act 1956 prohibits the companies, also prohibits the partnerships and associations from doing certain businesses. When? This is what we are going to understand. And what are those certain businesses? One is big business of banking. Another is other than the business of banking, which has its object the acquisition of gain. This is what we are going to understand. Subsection 1 of section 11 says, no company, association or partnership consisting of more than 10 persons shall be formed for the purpose of carrying on the business of banking, unless it is registered as a company under this act, or unless it is formed in pursuance of some other Indian law. So again, no company or no association or no partnership consisting of more than 10 persons shall be formed for the purpose of carrying on the business of banking. Again, underline business of banking, unless it is registered as a company under this act, or unless it is formed in pursuance of some other Indian law. This is what section 1 of subsection 1 of section 11 of the Companies Act 1956 says. There is another provision. Subsection 2 of the Companies Act, subsection 2 of section 11 of the Companies Act 1956 says another thing. Another thing what? The companies, partnerships or associations which are doing the business of, which are doing other than the business of banking. Here see the what condition it says. No company, no association or no partnership consisting more than 20 persons, again underline, consisting of more than 20 persons shall be formed for the purpose of carrying on any other business. Underline, any other business. Any other business means business other than the business of banking, that has its object the acquisition of gain by the company, association or partnership or the individual members, unless it is registered as a company under this act, or unless it is formed in pursuance of some other Indian law. So subsection 2 of section 11 says, if a company wants to do other than the business of banking, which has its object the acquisition of gain, it needs to get formed or registered as a company under this act, or it needs to be formed in pursuance of some other Indian law. So subsection 1 of section 11 says, if some association or company or partnership wants to do business of banking and it consists number of persons more than 10, it needs to be formed as a company. And when association or company or partnership wants to do a business other than business of banking, and it has its object the acquisition of gain by the company, it needs to be formed as a company under this act, or it needs to be registered, it needs to be formed in pursuance of some other Indian law. So let us go to subsection 3 of section 11. what it says. It is a very interesting point here. This section shall not apply, underline, this section 11 shall not apply to a joint family. So this section means here subsection 1, subsection 2 of section 11 do not apply to a joint family, underline here, a joint family such as carrying on a business. So both subsection 1, subsection 2 of section 11 do not apply to a joint family as such carrying on a business. A joint family as such carrying on a business. And where a business is carried on by two or more joint families, again underline here, carried on by two or more joint families. In computing the number of persons for the purposes of subsection 1 and 2, minor members of such family shall be excluded. What do we understand from subsection 3 of section 11? Subsection 1 and subsection 2 of section 11 do not apply to a joint family as such carrying on a business. Do not apply to a joint family, underline, a joint family carrying on a business. If the business is carried on by more than two joint families, it applies. Section 11 applies when business is carried on by more than two joint families. And when it comes to minor members of such families, minor members shall be excluded. Let us go to subsection 4 of section 11 of the Companies Act 1956. Here, another interesting point. Every member of a company or association or partnership carrying on business in contravention of this section. What is it telling? Every member of association carrying on business in contravention of this section means here section 11, shall be personally liable for all liabilities incurred in such business. See, very interesting. Subsection 4 of section 11 says every member of a company, every member of an association, every member of a partnership carrying on business in contravention of this section shall be personally liable for all liabilities incurred in such business. Subsection 5 of section 11 of the Companies Act 1956 says every person who is a member of a company, every person who is a member of an association, every member of a partnership formed in contravention, see here, formed in contravention of this section shall be punishable with fine which may extend to 10,000 rupees. See, section 11, how it prohibits companies, partnerships, associations from doing certain businesses. What are these certain businesses? Number 1, business of banking. Number 2, other than the business of banking, which has its object the acquisition of gain by the company. This is how companies are needed to be formed to do above cited businesses.